Pause.
Hey, welcome to Defocus TV. Happy New Year to everybody. We got Octavia White here, Raymond Lawrence, Wilson Tarpey Jr. We're happy to be back. That's at Octavia. It's almost been perfect that last couple weeks because there wasn't really anything too interesting going on in y'all division at all. Just kind of letting the time wind down until the second season started. That said, what's up in the NFC East?
Yeah, it's crazy that the season is over. I feel like it happened fast. I know for some teams it happened very slow. But it's crazy that it's over. We're definitely going to get to the playoff bracket. I'm going to touch on the games because there were just two games with the four teams played against each other in two interdivision games. The Philadelphia Eagles played against the Washington Commanders. The Commanders defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 24-17. Tanner McKee was 21 of 40, 241 yards, one touchdown, one interception, 2 carries for 3 yards. Tank Bigsby had 16 carries, 75 yards, and one touchdown and one reception for 31 yards. Devontae Smith had 3 receptions for 52 yards, and Grant Calcaterra had 2 receptions for 21 yards and one touchdown. On the Commander side, Johnson was 14 of 22, 131 yards, one touchdown, one interception, 9 carries for 45 yards, and one touchdown. Chris Rodriguez Jr. had 16 carries for 65 yards, one reception, 18 yards. Terry McLaurin, 4 receptions, 57 yards. And John Bates, 2 receptions for 13 yards and one touchdown. On the Eagles side, probably the biggest thing coming out of this game is that they rested all of their starters with the exception of Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith did play in one series of this game, and that was to make sure that he was a 1,000-yard receiver, which he has been. So this year they have 2,000-yard receivers in A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and a 1,000-yard rusher in Saquon Barkley. So he played specifically just for that. Probably the biggest talk is the fact that had they won this game, they would have been the 2 seed, knowing that now, hindsight being 2020, that the Chicago Bears lost to the Detroit Lions. And because of that, had they won, they would have moved to the 2 seed and the Bears would have been the 3 seed. But as we've seen over the past couple of years, health is very, very important to this franchise. And honestly, I agree. I believe it was 2 or 3 years ago where they didn't rest the starters and A.J. Brown got injured in one of those games and he injured his knee, and it actually did cost them the playoffs that year. So they prioritized rest over anything. We saw that last year with the record for Saquon where he could have gone for it, but they prioritized the rest, and you saw how that came out. So I don't see why they would change their goals or the way that they've done things in the past. Yeah, having an extra home game would help, but you never know how things are going to shake out, especially because of how the playoff bracket will look, and we'll get to that. Tanner McKee played. He played pretty well for the most part, just not big enough. His lack of mobility is glaring when you are used to seeing Jalen Hurts back there when he does run and use his legs. So all of those fans out there that said Tanner McKee should be starting over Jalen Hurts, yeah, y'all can stop that. Could he be a serviceable quarterback somewhere if he was given the opportunities at a more consistent rate? Maybe. It's just not in Philly right now for him. Jalix Hunt was definitely the bright spot. He is a starter. They did play some starters on the defensive side, so let me say that Jordan Davis did play. I believe Jalen Carter might have played a little bit, but it was mostly the backups. Trotter played well, but Jalix Hunt was the one that just was everywhere. He had an interception and a fumble recovery, which set up both the touchdowns that they had. He actually is I believe this is the first player in franchise history to have the most interceptions and sacks on the team, the same player. So definitely kudos to him. Hopefully for him, it was like a ramp up for the playoffs. Not saying that he's been playing bad or anything, but he's a younger kid. They're used to playing a bunch of games, so I'm sure that he appreciated the time to be out there. But the other thing that happened in this game, it showed how thin they are in secondary. I know I've been on here personally, and I have killed Adoree Jackson multiple times. Adoree, I'm sorry. Now, I'm not that sorry because the times I killed you, it was warranted. But the people behind you, yeah, the Jacorian Bennett's, the Michael Carter's, yeah, they would not be cutting it. The Kelee Ringos, my God, the play where, Josh Johnson is running directly at him to run into the end zone, and my man turned around and ran the other way. You can't make these things up, which is why he is a special teams guy. He does well in gunner, so he will continuously stay there. Hopefully, barring any injuries. So we're hopeful that the team stays healthy. Not much on the Commander side. They play a good amount of their starters outside of course, Jaden Daniels and Marcus Mariota, who also still was nursing a hand injury. Josh Johnson, I think they said this is his 14th team he's been on. He's 39. And one stat that I found that was kind of crazy is that he's only had like 10 starts in his entire career. Like, that's crazy. As many teams he's played for, but neither here nor there. They won. They played against some backups. They definitely realized that the secondary was not good. So they just threw the ball down the field to Terry McLaurin and knew that they were going to PI. And that's exactly what happened. And that was just the way it went for them. In the other game, the Dallas Cowboys played against the New York Giants. The Giants defeated the Cowboys 34-17. Dak Prescott did play one half. So he was 7 of 11, 70 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 2 carries for -1 yards. Joe Milton III was 7 of 13, 73 yards, 1 interception, 4 carries for 43 yards. Jadon Blue had 16 carries, 64 yards, and 1 touchdown. Phil Maffa, 5 carries, 18 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 receptions for 11 yards. Ryan Flournoy, 5 receptions for 68 yards. The Giants played all of their starters, as of course now neither team are going to the playoffs, but I think the one thing that I liked about it, and I like a little bit about Jackson Dart, is that he even came out and stated that he wanted to end the season on a good note. He wanted to go into the off season knowing that they had at least a positive ending to their season, because we know their season has been tumultuous. He was 22 of 32, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 carries for 32 yards. Tyrone Tracy Jr. had 18 carries, 103 yards, 5 receptions for 56 yards, and 1 touchdown. Devin Singletary had 9 carries for 26 yards and 1 touchdown. Gunnar Olszewski, I'll learn his name next year maybe, 8 receptions for 102 yards. And Daniel Bellinger had 2 receptions for 38 yards and 1 touchdown. For the Cowboys, obviously their season finishes in disappointment. Again, they didn't play many of their starters. I think CD played like a half. George Pickens played like a half. But this is their first time having a back-to-back losing season for the first time since the 2000-2002 season. Can't get much lower than that. Despite having 5 Pro Bowlers, they definitely fell short of expectations for them this year. We know their offense played well, but it is what it is. Like, there's no real need to go too deep into these games. They were just finishing off the season. They did have 286 total yards. They were 25% on third down conversions, and they had 2 rushing touchdowns. And the Giants, like I said, Jackson Dart, he played well, 22 of 32 passes, 230, finished with a career high 110.2 passer rating. He added 32 rushing yards, including a highlight flip for a 29-yard touchdown. He ended his rookie season with 24 total touchdowns and only 5 interceptions. Another stat I heard, he was checked for a concussion 5 times this year, and I believe they said he had a concussion 3 times. That's not good. In this game, there was a Jackson Dart slide, though. Congratulations. We know he knows how to do it. Now we need to see him do it consistently next year. But again, they finished not where they wanted to be, obviously. They had 403 total yards, 53% third down conversion, 3 touchdowns. So not good. Just to kind of cap off the season for the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles won the division. They were 11-6. The Dallas Cowboys were second in the division. They were 7-9-1. the Washington Commanders were third in division at 5-12. And the New York Giants, unfortunately for them, back where they usually are at 4-13, they were fourth in the division. As we know, the season ends, and I know they don't call it this anymore, but I still do. Don't care about anybody's feelings. Black Monday did happen, and there were definitely some notable changes within the NFC East, within the coaching staff, head coaches and coordinators alike. As we know, for the Giants, Dable was fired previously during the season, as well as defensive coordinator Shane Bowen. So they haven't had any notable ones since then, outside of the fact that GM Joe Shane has been retained and will be a part of looking for a new head coach. We'll see how that goes. Next, for the Commanders, they actually lost both of their coordinators. Cliff Kingsbury and the franchise decided to part ways. He wanted to have more opportunities to go somewhere else, which I think is kind of not crazy, but I mean, for him, do what you need to do for your career. But I think the marriage between him and Jaden Daniels was short-lived. Unfortunately for them, they weren't able to run it back because of the injuries. I would have liked to see it again next year, but I can't dictate his career path. But they did also fire defensive coordinator Joe Witt Jr. Both of these coordinators were a part of the inaugural staff that helped Washington reach its first NFC Championship game since 1991 last year. Kingsbury is expected to receive some head coaching consideration and other OC opportunities. Again, like I said, helping with the whole Jaden Daniels breakout season. Then lastly, so far, the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sure a lot of people were very excited about this if you're a Cowboys fan. Mike Eberflus was fired as a defensive coordinator. As we all know, their defense, I mean, I will give him this very eensy-bincy small grace. When you lose a player like Micah Parsons, it's kind of hard. But at the same time, there was other capable players there, and their defense just did not stand up at all. They had a little bit of a spark after the trade deadline, but outside of that, there was just nothing there. So they will go on a coaching defensive coordinator search as well. There are some names that are out there that I think the biggest name I've heard floated to them so far was Brian Flores, to see if they could pry him away from Minnesota. For me, Brian, please don't just stay where you are. Go be a head coach somewhere. Not in my division either. Just stay out somewhere like that. And then the Philadelphia Eagles haven't fired anybody because they are in the playoffs and they're not at that point. But I don't wish for people to lose their jobs. But it will be a lot of talk about Kevin Petrillo in the offseason, regardless of what happens as the playoffs go on. Last but not least, like we said, we're finally in the playoffs. We will have wild card weekend this weekend, and the schedule goes as following. Saturday, January 10th, we will have at 4:30 the Los Angeles Rams, who are the number 5 seed, will be at the Carolina Panthers, who won the NFC South after having to sit through and watch the Falcons and the Saints figure out who was going to be the team to win. I thought that was so crazy that the whole division was rooting for the other teams in their division for them to go. Crazy things have happened. I think crazy things always happen in NFC South, but that's neither here nor there. And then at 8 o'clock, they'll have the Green Bay Packers, who are the number 7 seed, visit the Chicago Bears, who are the number 2 seed for the third time this season. We know that Jordan Love had some injury concerns, didn't play in this last game. He's been resting. Chicago did play their starters during this game as well, during their last game. So they don't have a lot of rest, but they'll have a home game. I haven't looked at it, but I'm sure it's been a while since it's been a home playoff game in Soldier Field. I think the last one was against the Philadelphia Eagles with a double doink on the field goal. So I'm sure they're looking to erase that. Then on Sunday, we have 3 games. At 1 o'clock, we have the Buffalo Bills, who are the number 6 seed, at the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are the number 3 seed. Jacksonville is getting a lot of talk right now with the streak that they're on. I believe they said they're like on an 8 or 9 game winning streak. Now, me personally, they didn't play a lot of great teams during this winning streak outside of the Denver Broncos. And yes, they did beat the Denver Broncos in Maha. But we've been waiting for Trevor Lawrence to come on ever since he left Clemson. Is this the time? A lot of people seem to think so. I don't think it's going to be that easy because Josh Allen knows that this is his time with the teams that are not out there. this is the time for him to go out there and win. I talked to one of my coworkers earlier today. Good things tend to happen in threes for people. He recently got married. He's about to have a baby. No, you won a Super Bowl. Never know. Then at 4:30, the main event. It's like the San Francisco 49ers, who are the number 6 seed, will visit the Philadelphia Eagles, who are the number 3 seed. This is going to be a really good game. I still think it's going to be a really good game. I get nervous for my teams in the playoff, especially against the 49ers. I know Wilson is shaking his head, but I don't like to downplay any of my opponents, especially when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers. The last time we played them, the last time we played them in the playoffs was the whole Brock Purdy injury, the reason, and they didn't have a backup quarterback after, I forgot who was even behind Purdy got hurt.
Johnson.
Oh, yeah. And, they were talking about trotting Christian McCaffrey out there. And, I mean, honestly, that game came and made a rule change of the emergency third quarterback on the rosters now. I think this game will be interesting because I think what each team does well, the other team doesn't to a certain degree. Like the Philadelphia Eagles defense is really what's probably going to ride them out, and they should be able to handle that. The only concern that I would have as far as the opposite side of that, I know that the 49ers are injured, but they played really well throughout the season. They had a chance for the number 1 seed, even with all of the injuries that they had. But that run defense against the Seahawks, where the Seahawks don't really have a running game, was a little concerning if you're a 49ers fan. We have Saquon Barkley. Is he going to play the way that he did last year in the playoffs? Is probably going to be the biggest question. Are they going to be able to run the ball? So I think that's where it kind of lies. And you playing Philadelphia is going to be tough, traveling from West Coast to East Coast and everything like that. So I think that'll be a very interesting game. If I'm not here on Monday, you know why. On Tuesday, you know why. And then they finished the night up with the Los Angeles Chargers, who are the number 7 seed, at the New England Patriots, who are the number 2 seed. Patriots definitely ahead of schedule. They also had a chance to be the number 1 seed. They won the AFC East this year. And Drake May is in the running for MVP. It's between him and Matthew Stafford of the Los Angeles Rams at this point. It'll be crazy to me to see Drake May win because how fast his ascension happened. That's a testament to Mike Vrabel and their coaching staff, and as well as Drake May in the way that he's played. But let's also remember they did not have a very good schedule this year. They didn't play against a lot of high caliber teams. And I think this Chargers defense is going to be one of the best defenses that they've seen all year. So I'm interested to see how that pans out. And then we know Justin Herbert, he never seems to show up in the playoffs. Their defense is hitting. Derwin Davis is just Derwin Davis at this point. It's going to be interesting. Last but not least, on Monday, we have the Houston Texans, who are the number 5 seeds, at the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are the number 4 seed. And they did win the AFC North off of a missed field goal. So that should be interesting. I don't remember the last time we saw Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. So that will be interesting as well, knowing that this could also be his last game. To go out there and have to run away from Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr., good luck to you. As well as a well-rested Nico Collins, who did not play last week as well. I'm not picking no games right now, but I'm going to lean a little heavier to the Houston Texans. They usually win at least one game when they get in the playoffs since they've had CJ Stroud. So I'm not putting that, I'm just putting that out there. So it'll be a very, very, very interesting wild card weekend. I do also want to shout out the number 1 seeds. It's funny that the 2 teams that are the number 1 seeds, their representatives, are not here today. I'm sure I would hear a lot more had they been here, but shout out to Cardell's Denver Broncos as the number 1 seed. The AFC playoffs goes through Mile High, and shout out to Malik's Seattle Seahawks, who Sam Darnold, he did what he couldn't do last year. He played in the big game and pulled it out. Will that continue and go on? Because a lot of people, I believe they're the favorites to win the Super Bowl right now by odds. but it's not going to be easy. So, congratulations to both of those teams. I'm excited to see how the playoffs go.
Yeah, Octavia, I would say to you what I said to everybody since Fred Warner got hurt. The fact that the Niners are playoff in the playoffs is an indictment and an affront to the entire NFL. You do with that information what you will. If you somehow lose to this team, no, you should not show up for a couple of weeks.
No,
This
yeah.
is one of those. This is one of those
I'm
things
gonna be
where
really sad. I'm not gonna
it,
lie.
it goes beyond Jeopardy questions. Like they're bad. They're horrible.
I'm gonna be real sad.
Everybody like they can't even do the thing that makes them them because all of those people aren't healthy. Of course, they can't stop the run. The
Jeffrey.
best linebacker in football barely can walk. Like he thinks he's coming back to the playoffs, but Fred's Fred. He's a special guy. He's not going to be out there.
Yeah.
They drafted a defensive end, 11th overall, to stop the run. The kid was really good at it. You know what happened when he got hurt? Everybody was gashing them. They're horrible. That defense is an affront to the standard of what defenses have been to that franchise. They're trash.
I'm
I
sorry.
have not watched the game live since Warner went down. I watched the end of that Bucks game, and I was like, "This is beneath me. I shall not watch this the rest of the way." I've been watching the Niners all my life. That that group of 11, yuck,
Oh
yuck, yuckers, disgusting. The
wow.
fact
I'm so
that the
nervous.
team, no, that's a personal thing between you and your team. Again,
I will say it's more so my team that I'm worried about. Like I'm
and
worried that they're gonna trick it off.
I I'm offended deeply that that's an issue. The only wide receiver on the team got shot and hasn't been healthy since his rookie year.
I got shot.
There's five wide receiver fours. It's not hard. Chicago, I'm talking to you. You double McCaffrey. No one else can get open. No one. He's the team's best runner and best wide receiver when Ricky's not there. It's not hard. And in front to football, the NFC, I discussed it in the entire conference. You got in a shootout with a team with a slingshot. There's no actual weaponry there. The weaponry is not there. We got our own version of AB crashed out. He gone. Wide receiver one gone. Ain't been around.
A B and B A. Jeez.
AB and BA. Them initials, two for two. Not here, not with us.
Oh snap! We got an AB though. I'm nervous. Like I'm playing.
Hey, at least this stuff, he's still there. Like, my dude gone. He out here posting videos about I shouldn't have been driving 140 in the school zone. Yeah, like, chill out. That's who people are losing to? George hamstring has been Swiss cheese since week one.
Yeah, that's true.
People out here getting bodied by Jake Tonges? Nah, man. Whole NFC. I'm disgusted by all of you evenly. Everyone. Everyone.
Well,
I'm watching Seattle fans be proud. You should have put 40 on them people. Everyone should have. All you had to do was spam HB dive for 7 weeks. You know who wasn't going to stop it? The Santa Clara Niners. Because it hasn't been San Francisco since Fred went down. He took that whole thing out the name. No resistance, no defense. Disgusting. Oh,
oh,
nah, man, that's just nasty.
but
And if y'all lose, man, I'm not going to bother you.
we have a
Just
Kevin
know,
Pachulo.
look,
We have a Kevin Pachulo. That makes
hey,
me
man,
nervous.
hey, man, that man is back there throwing to Kendrick Bourne and Demarcus Robinson and Jawan Jennings. Again,
We got
these are like, they're not even Wes Welker level wide receiver fours. Again, I'm a fan, but I'm real. Like, this is disgusting. I've been upset since Fred fractured his foot. How y'all let them people win? To be up for the one seed? All y'all bad. Everyone's trash. Everyone's. Everyone. They literally just like, hey, yo, if you run the ball, we can't do nothing about it. And people was like, nah, man, let's throw it. Okay, y'all got it, man.
That's what Kevin Pachulo does though.
Hey, man, like I said, y'all tricked that one away. It
Man,
won't
let's
be
go.
me.
We be like,
Just know.
we got
Just,
Saquon and Tank Bigsby. Like, we
and the
got
sad part is, you don't even need them to beat that defense. It can be anybody. You just gotta run the ball like you mean it. They not gonna tackle you. It was 3rd and 17 the other day. All 11 people found 12 things to do on 3rd and 17. This was a very unserious group of football. I'm not watching that trash. I've not watched that dude got hurt. And people out here, oh, it's the Niners. Nah, man, they somebody. They're Santa Clara adjacents. The Niners be back next year when the people get healthy.
it's not
That's
bang
out
bang
there.
Niner gang. It's not that.
Next year when the game gets back, who else? Where the Niners at?
What a
I
game.
don't see Fred, Michael, Nick. What's it called? Trenton didn't play last week. Seattle's disgusting.
Oh yeah, Trent didn't play. He got a hamstring too.
That man's almost 40 and hurt his hamstring chasing down somebody on a pick six from the shootout with the Bears.
When you say it like that, it sounds so much worse.
No, I'm just telling everyone what it is. You know how disgusting it is to get on social media and hear people say, "Oh, well, the Niners this year." What the hell are y'all talking about? It's an unserious group. This is like when people make movies about like people that are playing in place of athletes. That's what the Niners are this year, dog. Like anybody who's lost to them, yuck. But here, Ray, I'm sorry. It's just disgusting, dog. And Niner fans, y'all disgusting too. Man. They lost to Seattle. Seattle should have beat them with Thor's hammer. The fact that it was 13 Seattle, I'm disgusted by you two. You couldn't score against a team that lets everybody score. Ain't like they gonna stop you. They don't know how. Bro, they so bad. What's that man's name? Kendrick's about to play. They just signed Kaiser White. He probably gonna start in the playoff game
Oh,
off
I
the street
didn't
at linebacker.
have him.
That's unserious. Ray, this man got a call yesterday. He about to play the playoff game. No, they should not be taken seriously. And if you lose to them, that is disgusting. And just know I'll be shaking my head and laughing. Like Joker type level laughing, because that's just disgusting. But Ray, the Wizards. Yuckers.
Oh man, I don't know how I follow that up, but yeah, the Wizards been quite busy lately and have been having a little bit of success. They're right now they're in the third quarter against the Magic and they're up 77-58. So hopefully they can continue to perform in this game. We'll have more on that in our Wizards outlook later. But their last game they weren't as successful. They took a tough one to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They lost 141 to 115 on Sunday. Cardell and myself were in the building. It was pretty much the Anthony Edwards show. The game was close in the beginning through the first half, but that's because the Wizards they were shooting lights out, so they were able to stay within striking distance. But as typical for them throughout the season, they came out in the third quarter and they just fell apart. Much of it was due to the Timberwolves, specifically Anthony Edwards, put on a max class in the third quarter and just put him to sleep. He had 19 points in that one period alone. So that pretty much told the tale of that game. But also Rudy Gobert, he was just disruptive on both ends. To be perfectly honest, defensively we already know what he brings. People made a lot of business decisions when they got in that lane, and that just kind of disrupted what the Wizards have been able to do offensively lately. They've been having a lot of success in the paint, and even if they weren't finishing in the lane, they were able to penetrate and then kick the ball out for open shots from the perimeter. But with Rudy down there, you gotta kind of approach things differently. So yeah, that kind of threw a wrench in their game plan. Also, the Timberwolves abused them on the inside. They had 76 points in the paint. A lot of that was due to Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert. So yeah, it was just a lot of things for him to overcome. They also turned the ball over a lot. That issue represented itself. So yeah, man, just it was just a test for them to kind of see where they were at the moment. 6-5 in their last 11 games, so they have been getting some continuity and finding some things that work. But they just ran into a team that kind of like Octavia was talking about in the NFL matchups, what Minnesota does well, the Wizards struggle at. That's why that played out the way it did. But yeah, man, they're definitely starting to get some momentum. Trey Johnson, he's come on lately. He was battling some injuries earlier, but yeah, man, since he's been in the starting lineup, he's been cooking. And also Justin Champagnie, we talk about him a lot. I mean, he's just the ultimate glue guy. So yeah, man, hopefully they can continue to string some wins together, continue to build continuity, and just continue to build their confidence. That's also been a difference maker for them. Their body language looks much better. The effort looks much better. They look to be actually playing as a team. So, and that's translated to wins recently. So hopefully they can just keep it going.
For sure. Cardell, we've been doing free games for every game, so just to give you guys a glimpse into that. Uh, Cardell breaking down the keys to the Knights game. As Ray said, Washington's been 65 in their last 11. They love to get another win. To get a win to close out this homestand. And yeah, Ray, that I wasn't present, but you guys definitely painted a very clear and not fun picture of what you guys watched on Sunday. In their matchup with Minnesota. That said, here's the keys to the Knights game when they took on the Southeast Division leading Orlando Magic. So Cardell, what do the Wizards need to do tonight to even this series at one game apiece before the remaining 2 games shift to Orlando?
Well, first of all, bring the defense that they brought over this span where they won 4 out of 5 games. Let's call it what it is. Minnesota took it to them. So they got a lot of work to do. They got to reestablish that and bring that. Also, guard Orlando without putting them on the free throw line. They're first in the league in makes and first in the league in attempts. They rely on getting to the line a lot. They're not the most efficient team when they get there. They only make 78% of their free throws, 16th in the league. But if you get enough of them, it won't matter. So the Wizards have to guard them without putting them on the line, which is the thing for every night, but definitely tonight because they rely heavily on that to score. Orlando does. Paulo Banchero, he hasn't had the type of season that he's normally had, but one thing he's great at, finishing around the rim and drawing fouls. So the Wizards got to be able to keep him out on the perimeter, move their feet, be physical, but be smart. You can't hit him too much. You're going to get to the line, and if you see the ball going to basket enough times, it could be a problem. We already know that. One thing he's not a good defender. That's something that a lot of people don't realize. So you can attack Banchero defensively a lot. He for whatever reason on that end, he kind of struggles on that end in a variety of ways. So you got to deal with that. Next up, Anthony Black. He's taking the lead this year. It is what it is, man. He's always been an elite playmaker and defender, but now he's got better as a shooter, and he's an elite all-around defender. But offensively, he can make shots now. He can make shots spotting up, curling. We already know he was lethal coming out of college off the bounce, getting to the basket, creating that way. So now that he can play off of guys and still score, make plays, makes it even more of a threat. And then with his size, being 6'7", you know what I mean? He can guard 1 through 3. And he's a great all-around defender as well. So, that's somebody you got to account for. It's going to be an interesting test. How the young fellas, all of them trying to eager to prove. So, you're going to have that kind of tension when they battle one another. Next up, Desmond Bane. We all know he's a capable of deep-range shooting, even though I think he's shooting about 35% on the year, which is below his usual around 40% from deep. But the thing about him is, as strong as he is, he's not a good on-ball defender either. You know what I mean? Like, he struggles, but he's good at chasing guys. He's good at navigating ball screens. So you got to be careful with him. And he hangs his hands, he's physical. But yeah, isolation type things, getting passes to open shooters that he's guarding, you can pick on him a little bit. So, the Wizards should look to take care of that. And last but not least, Wendell Carter. ideal finisher inside, but he draws fouls at a high rate. He's one of the main guys along with Van Carroll, and I know Franz, but Franz is out. But those are the two guys that get to the line a lot. You got to keep him off the offensive glass. That's what he's great at. He's a great offensive rebounder, and he's great at putbacks and with dunks to layups, and 2-3 defenders on him and scoring inside. And if he gets to the line too many times, he could be the key to the game. That's the reason why Magic walk out here with a win. So you got to box him out. Look, he's a big boy. 6'10", 270. So you gotta be physical. Put your big boy hands on there and bang with him, man. You gotta keep him off the boards. You know it is what it is. You gotta keep him off the boards. And when he's trying to post up, keep him off the block. You know, man, push him out to the perimeter, make him a perimeter player. That's something he's not as good at offensively. So let that play into your hands. But you know, again, keep him on the glass and make sure you keep him out the paint where he can kill you. Where, lobs and second chance points and rolling to the basket and post ups and all that. You do that, you got a good shot. But once again, all that's predicated off of their defense and their execution on offense. And against Minnesota, neither showed up. So they got to get back to that. And if they get back to that, they give themselves a chance. If they don't, possibly get see a repeat of what we saw against Minnesota on Sunday.
Yeah, it looks like the Wizards have followed the keys pretty well. So right now they're up 84-63. So like Ray said, we'll talk to you guys later in that regard on Outlook. The college basketball, real quick, it's been a while because it's been a couple weeks since I spoke to you guys about what's been happening in the college part with Maryland women's basketball, but get that up on the screen for you guys real quick. So let's catch you up. The Terps beat Central Connecticut State at home before Christmas, 98-30. They would then beat Wisconsin 97-59 on December 29th, followed by their first loss of the season. That came on the road against Illinois, where they fell 73-70. This Sunday, as in a couple of days ago, the Terps would go on to beat the Indiana Hoosiers 82-67. Maryland did the alumni that was in the building proud. They took Sunday to celebrate the 2006 national championship winning team. Rebounding from their first loss of the season against Illinois, the 25-26 Terps didn't start this game well, but they would finish strong and get back into the winning column thanks to a career-high 34 points from Oluchi Akanawa. Her previous career high came in her last home game where she scored 28. The 34 points was the 12th highest scoring game in program history for Maryland PR. Also courtesy of Maryland PR, Maryland is 12-0 at home for the first time since the 2014-2015 season. While Akanawa led the way, she wasn't alone as Izzy Ozzy Mamadou had a big double-double while missing just one shot from the field. She had 12 points and 15 boards, spearheading the Terps' command on the glass. Those 15 boards became a career high for Izzy. Indiana was led by Maya Magaleski's 20 points. That was the Hoosiers' fourth consecutive loss in conference play this season. They're still in search for their first win in that regard. The full recap is up on our channel under the Terps categories. You guys can see here before we move on. Oluchi Akanawa is, you look up Disruptor, her picture's right there. She literally just weaponizes her athleticism to such a degree that Maryland, when she gets going, they always end up taking off. And this was kind of a game of two halves. It took them a little while before their defense kind of got going, but once it did, they created separation, and that's all you need against conference play. It is a journey. So it was good to see them not turn one loss into two. It took them a couple months to lose their first game of the 25-26 season. That said, it sucked they had to be a conference game, but they got right back on the winning side of things by taking care of Indiana. Up next, they'll face Rutgers on the road. Then they got a nice showdown with Ohio State at Xfinity on Sunday afternoon. All right, so we will move into the fun stuff. Take it or leave it. You guys know this guy and love him dearly. That could be anybody. I wonder if y'all can take a guess, but it's all right. Your boy Kirk Cousins.
I don't
I don't
know.
know if anybody. I don't know about anybody knew that was coming, but
I don't know about Kirk Bangs. I don't know.
right.
Sorry, Chucky.
Well, Kirk Cole agreed to modify the final 2 years of the quarterback's contract with the Falcons, setting the stage for a decision on his Atlanta future to be made by the third day of the 2026 NFL League year. That is March 13th, per ESPN. While Cousins and the Falcons, who are undergoing a search for a new general manager and head coach, could agree to another amended deal. Like, let's be honest, you did this so you could kind of cut the cord because, because of his Hall of Fame agent, you already paid him. Like that money's gone. He got that already. So this is about clearing some future space because Kirk got his money when he signed. That was done. He's the only baseball player in the NFL. Once he signs, all that money is his. It's done. But uh, the post June 1st, like they're talking about that post June 1st type of release. Such a release would split the dead money on Cousins' contract over the 26 and 27 league years, as opposed to the team taking on the full dead cap hit in 2026, also creating cap flexibility for Atlanta as soon as June 2nd. Additionally, by agreeing to reduce Cousins' base salary for 2026, Falcons create more flexibility right away as his cap charge drops immediately. Take it or leave it if the Falcons and Cousins are definitely parting ways after this restructure. I tell you.
Um, I feel like what's going on down there is just so kind of up in the air. With the firing of Raheem Morris and I was gonna say Mostert. um, After how coveted of a coach he was when he came in, what 2 years ago? I feel like it was 2 or 3 years ago. I know they didn't have the season that they wanted to have, but I think that a lot of it wasn't necessarily his fault. Um, I think it's a good chance that Kirk is gone, just for the fact that I think that if you're going to tear it down, which it looks like that they are, um, you would assume that you would rather the coach get the quarterback that they want. We don't know what's going to happen with Michael Penix, but I think we know he's not going to be ready by the start of next year at least. So at that point, you're now looking to see who is going to be your successor, and do you feel like it's Kirk Cousins? I know at one point they were, well, I won't say one point because it's been 2 days, but since the firing of Kevin Stefanski, that's also been out there in the media. Like, does he go down there? They have previous history. Maybe he can make it work with Kirk for a year until they can figure out what they want to do as far as quarterbacks going forward. Who knows? But Kirk, at this point, you done got all the money in the world. Like, we appreciate you, like, giving some back, I guess, or whatever. But I don't think it's 100% confirmed that he won't be back, just because of the crazy things that they've done in the franchise. You know, signing him to all the money and then drafting Penix, and they have a lot of good pieces down there. Their defense started playing well towards the end of the season, so I would assume they're looking to kind of get in gear as quickly as possible. Um, it could benefit them keeping Kirk because of that, but then at the same time, you're going to have a whole new coach. This is going to be a whole new scheme, so it kind of goes back and forth. And I feel like Atlanta does weird things when it comes to making personnel changes. So who actually knows? But if I had to bet $1 on it, because that's all I would bet, I'd say he'd be gone. I feel like he probably still feels like he has enough in the tank. I mean, but I think it depends on what the franchise decides that they want to do. If they say, like, we'll give you the keys and let you be the starter next year, no competition, no none of that, or something like that. But I feel like if they bring in somebody that they're going to be like, we're going to have you compete for it, there's plenty of opportunities elsewhere where he has opportunities to start. There's, as much as we're talking about coaching carousels and everything going on, it's a quarterback carousel going on too. We don't know what's going to happen in Cleveland. We don't know what's going to happen in Arizona. We don't know what's going to happen in Indianapolis. We don't know what's going to happen in, I mean, I would assume, I was going to say Minnesota, but I would assume they're going to stick with JJ McCarthy, even though his season was up and down. We don't know what's going to happen in the New York Jets. We don't know. Like, there's opportunities for him to go places and kind of try to mimic what Aaron Rodgers has done this season. So he might opt for that. So I think it really depends on what the franchise decide they want to do before he makes a decision what he wants to do.
All right, Ray, take it or leave it. There's splits down.
First of all, being at the mercy of Kirk Cousins is hilarious for many reasons. But I mean, like, can can they get rid of him? I mean,
They just got to
you
take
know,
the dead cap hit.
I would say it's a lot of money though.
yeah, like, and
Shout out to his agent.
then you leave him and you got to go find a quarterback. Like, so I think he's going to be there, man. They're in a tough spot,
Yeah, and they don't have a high draft pick either
right?
because they gave that
So,
away.
so I think they're in a position where he's going to be there next year. All things considered, like, because it's not like people are lining up to go play quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons.
Facts.
So you let him go, and then you got to scramble, and you're probably not going to end up with something coveted at that spot anyway. So, and you're still going to have to pay him. So might as well at least have him do some work for you.
He trying to be like Russell Wilson out there, Jay. Get paid for free.
So yeah, I think he's going to be there, man.
All right. I'm probably won't take it. I think it's a wrap. I just think one, the Falcons are weird. That what I'm about to say, them them and Cousins separating doesn't mean they're gonna like make an adult decision and
Yep.
choose correctly afterwards. Like, let me be very clear. They're still gonna Falcon this thing up. But yeah, I think this is Kurt just like, yeah, I'm cool. And someone upstairs was like, I ain't want you anyways. You had an Achilles. I don't know who's. Somebody was like, I told y'all.
And then they fired
And
the
this
CEO or something too. Like they're getting a new CEO or something.
man, there's a
Oh, everybody up top. So that's a good point. That's why I say I don't
like.
know which way it's gonna
I
go.
feel like somebody upstairs was like, there was the one person who's like, hey man, his leg doesn't work.
Look at his face in the video. It hurt.
Everybody was excited. That one person was like, I mean, I guess just know that I don't agree with it. They woke up today and they were excited going to work. They were ready.
This
It was the Super Bowl for that person.
like it
So
just
shout
hurt
out
me
to
to throw the ball.
man. He's like, oh, my, the tables. That person going to work today. That said, the Baltimore Ravens fired John Harbaugh today, ending one of the most successful coaching franchise history. His exit comes 2 days after the Ravens lost to the rival Steelers 26-24 after missing a last-second field goal attempt, which eliminated them from the playoffs for the first time since 2021. Harbs had signed a 3-year deal last all season and was under contract through the 2028 season. Baltimore owner Steve Biscotti called the decision incredibly difficult. He then went on to say, throughout what I firmly believe is a Hall of Fame coaching career, John has delivered a Super Bowl championship to Baltimore and served as a steadfast pillar of humility and leadership. He and his family have deeply embedded themselves in the community for these profound contributions on and off the field. We should all be forever grateful. Our goal has always been and will always be to win championships. We strive to consistently perform at the highest level on the field and be a team and organization our fans take pride in. I will always be grateful for the extraordinary hard work and dedication displayed by John and his staff throughout the many successful years. Take it or leave it. This is the right decision for Baltimore, Ray.
I'm gonna leave it. I mean, yeah, this year didn't go as planned, but I mean, Lamar was out for a few games, and there were some other issues as well. And weren't they just in the AFC Championship last year? Like, so I don't know. I guess this is one of those times where the franchise feels like they have to do something to show they're trying, but I don't think this was the right thing to do. And I don't think it's going to work out well for them. So we'll see.
Octavia.
I'm gonna take it just for the fact that this is giving me Andy Reid leaves the Philadelphia Eagles and goes off into the sunset. Do I think, like, I agree with Ray. I don't think the Baltimore Ravens will be better for it. I think John Harbaugh will be better for it. I mean, literally, I remember looking at my phone. It was 5:11 when I saw the notification from Adam Schefter that he had been released. Well, it didn't even say if he was fired. So one thing I was like, I didn't like the fact that he was fired. I thought that at the time and the amount of time he's been there and what he's been to that franchise, a mutual parting of ways should have been the thing. I don't necessarily like the firing behind it, but I understand it to a certain degree. The league is about what have you done for me lately? It's always been like that. It's always going to be like that. 18 years is a long time to be anywhere. I felt the same way when we lost Andy Reid. Like, why are we doing this? But then, like, I get it. Something's got to change, and it's easier for the coach to change, unfortunately. But I think he'll be better for it. I think the Ravens won't, because unless they have somebody in their mind who they already want to take his place, whether it's somebody internally, I don't know who else out there. Like, I don't see anybody that's amazing that's going to be out there for them to help them through this search. But I mean, literally, it was 5:11 when I saw that he got fired. And in the car ride home, as I'm listening to sports radio, his agent has already come out and said that within the 45 minutes of him being fired, he received 7 phone calls from 7 different teams wanting John Harbaugh. Now, mind you, there are 7 openings in head coaches currently, including the Baltimore Ravens. So that means they weren't one of the 7 teams that called. That means there's somebody out there who has a coach and hasn't fired their coach that are like, well, maybe if we can get John, then maybe we'll fire our coach. So, I mean, like, he's going to be fine. I don't know if he's going to get the actual, like I said, it's giving me Andy Reid vibes. And we know Andy went on to do win 3-4 championships at that point. And maybe it's slightly different because at least John won one in Baltimore and Andy didn't win one in Philadelphia. But it tracks the same. These are 2 legendary coaches. They're going to the Hall of Fame. Like, we know those things are going to happen. And I mean, he's 63. He's still relatively young in coach years. I mean, I know Pete Carroll just got fired, but he's like 85 out there coaching, and push come to shove, he'll be on the staff at the Chargers next year. His brother be like, come on over here, bro. I got something to do. So, I mean, he'll be fine. I'm more interested in what Baltimore is going to do. They have pieces. They've had pieces. I mean, it's tough to be literally the preseason favorite for a Super Bowl championship and to in the season 8-9 and lose on a field goal. Back-to-back years of losing in heartbreak fashion. 1, to even get to the playoffs, and then 2, to get to the Super Bowl. Well, to the championship or to the Super Bowl. I can't remember. Whatever it was. But 2 years of losing in heartbreak fashion for the whole entire world to see, because their games were prime time at that point. So, Ravens, I take it for the fact that I think something has to happen to a certain degree. Like, it's been year after year now. At the same time, John Ball, I think they say he's averaged 10 wins a season since he's been there for 18 years. He's won at least 180 games. But it might just be at that point where there's no other way. And I think that, honestly, had they won, then we might not be having this conversation. It kind of also gives me the thought of when the Nuggets fire Malone. If we're not going to do it now, when else are we going to have the opportunity to do it? If we're not going to do it in the season where we were Super Bowl favorites, we were supposed to win. We ended up with a losing record. We won at 5, all this other stuff. Even though, I mean, they had a heroic turnaround and lost on the field goal. But they're like, do we want to sit through this another year? Or do we want to make a move? So, I mean, I don't think it'll work for them, but I see what their vision is, I guess.
Yeah, to me, you didn't have to resign him.
True.
Like, this is what you should have did last year. Like, this is why it's just dumb to me, because I'm fine with, I do think they needed to, like, split, but you didn't have to resign him and then split. That's what doesn't make sense. His contract was up. You just let him sail off into the sunset. But you weren't prepared and probably just too scared to do it. So, like, that's where I do agree with you guys. Is now you're using this loss of all the losses with. I won't even hear this year, bro. Like, come on, man. That's like York being like, you know what, Kyle? You almost had the number 1 seed in the Walking Dead year, but you just can't lose like that. You see how dumb it sounds? Like, but to your point, I tell you with the Andy Reid thing, I thought they should have split with him last year because unlike Andy, and no disrespect to some of them other Eagles quarterbacks, you had Lamar the entire time, brother.
Yeah.
Which is why
Not
when this
just
contract was running up last year, I was like, hey man, it's been real. Join your brother, go hang out, go be a dad, go do whatever. 'Cause to me, the leagues were splitting to me like, oh, this is a perfect time. Leave like it's done. You did what you could, nobody fired you. You know, I never wanted this to happen. Because
yeah.
he didn't deserve this.
Yeah.
You didn't have to resign him. But yeah, something needs to change because yeah, bro, you have one of the league's top 5 players. You've had him the entire time. I get that you're a good coach, but if this was anybody else,
Yep.
brother,
I mean,
brother,
we just talked about Raheem Morris. 2 years. You got Bijan Robinson. You out of here, bro.
like people in Atlanta mad because they can't figure out how to use Bijan the same way Kyle spamming the Christian button, and they was like, get out. You have had Lamar Jackson for like 8 years.
It's a
Now
great.
some of that's the GM, you know what I'm saying, with the decisions, what you surround him with, but whatever, you the coach. Like, you're the coach. You get paid like you're the coach. I can only imagine the things people were saying if this was Kyle and Kyle had a Lamar. I can only imagine the way they talk about Kyle with Jimmy, I can't do anything, and Little Boy Blue. I can only imagine if that's Lamar, dude. In Buffalo, I'm looking at you too
I
because
was
you the
just
same.
about to say, McDermott, you
Boy,
got it, bro.
I got you. Spider-Man meme.
Hey, they better
You too.
they better do something in this playoffs.
I don't care what he does. Go. Like anything, he can win the Super Bowl and I'm still moving on. Like both of y'all had two of the most illegal game breaking players in this league under center. All y'all got is some MVPs.
Yeah.
And bless Andy's heart, because he do got Pat. And I love Pat. You two have the two most physically gifted aliens in a league full of aliens. Buffalo and Baltimore. What y'all doing, man?
Yeah. I just like to say Jalen Hurts won one, so
Again, that's why I take you this point.
next year.
Second round pick got one. Mr. Relevant, go to the NFC Championship. He's been to a Super Bowl. What you doing, man? What you again, I'm not trying to be mean, just what are you doing? But yeah, Baltimore, you fun with this. You should just let them rock last year. Like everything was done.
Great point, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you just then whoever is in this situation, we're not even yelling at them. But I do think there's something to be said when you end up with if you're the coach of I don't care what sport it is, if you're a coach and you have one of those generational game breaking dudes, hey man, it's different. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Some dudes out there with duct tape and bubble gum. You come to work every day, advantage you. Before you come up with a plan, you have an advantage. Because you woke up today and that player's on your team.
That is a great point because they was about to start coming for, like, for example, they was about to start coming for Sam Presti. You got an SGA, bro. You got SGA. And they was like, nah, bro. We won. Leave us alone. Back
Hey
on.
man, that's all I'm saying. Because like people was on Andy's head, people was on Kyle's head, and again, not to disparage those quarterbacks in Philly. No,
Mm-mm.
that's not what he was working with.
Mm-mm.
That was that big brain and belly working together, scheming stuff up, getting people out the way. That man was in that kitchen cooking because he did not have generational talent under center. He was blessed with mid. What was generational was his mind.
I mean,
So we not going.
even Doug Peterson won with Nick Foles.
I'm just saying.
Nick Foles,
I-
love you,
Hey
Nick.
man. I watched the team that I root for go to the Super Bowl, telling their quarterback you're not allowed to throw, and you got a Lamar Jackson. My brother in Christ. Mr. McDermott in Buffalo. You got Josh Allen, brother. There's no game plan that says put them in a box. It's just y'all. Now, I don't got, we not doing that.
Great, great point.
We not doing that. I'm sorry. You over there with the big red cheat button. Loser. Like, right, anytime you need to do this. And you out here like, what you mean, But, and I'm proud of myself because I left his brother out of it, and that took a lot for me. So, proud of myself. We're gonna stay with football, man, because people out here wilding with their decisions. Now the Lions, they fired their OC. Dan Campbell was out here calling plays to end the season. So Ben Johnson left. Go figure. I guess the guy with all the ideas. He leaves. Chicago's offense works all of a sudden for the first time ever at a prolific level. And the Lions can't. Every once in a while they score. It never seems intentional. But Dan Campbell, after they let go of John Morton, he said he hasn't decided whether he'll remain the play caller moving forward. I mean, I'm open to anything. I don't know exactly where I'm at with that yet. I mean, I guess one of the good things if I did do that, you don't have to worry about somebody else leaving. We know who he's referring to because Ben left it. So clearly the plan wasn't in place.
Yeah, but they said that one. I ain't seen it.
And you got to see it in the division. That stuff. But listen, I'm going to think through all of that, and I think if I really want to do that, if I really want to do what I feel is best for the team, and that included, I believe that's what's best for us. I feel good about it, then I will. If I just feel like, then I won't do it. I won't do it. Take it or leave it. Offensive play calling was the biggest or the sole reason that the Lions didn't make the playoffs. Right.
I mean, you pretty much laid it out. The guy that was calling the plays, he departed, and they didn't even look like even a semblance of the team they were before. So sometimes 1 + 1 is 2, man. So I gotta take it.
All right, Octavia.
I'm only leaving it because I don't think it's the biggest reason. I think it is a reason. Their defense wasn't good either. So, I mean, granted, their defense played better. I think that their offensive coordinator, I can't remember his name, black guy, Dreads. Kudos to him. He did his thing as much as possible. But the second straight year where they had a lot of injuries. I mean, their entire secondary was gone. There's no Terrion Arnold. The Brian Branch out here doing crazy stuff. Like, they defense wasn't there. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson did everything that he could, So I think it's equal blame to go along. But yeah, definitely the offensive side of the ball. I mean, when you have the likes of freaking Jahmyr Gibbs, and I even think they underutilized Jameson Williams. Like, what are we doing? You got Jameson Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, whoever this Tesla guy is that showed up every now and then. Sam Laporta also got injured this year. So I mean, it's enough blame to go around, and I don't think Jared Goff had that great of a season either. I think this is 2 years back to back where he's had a 5-pick game. Yeah, one last year and one this year. That ain't cool. Now, I think last year they won it, and I think this year they might have won it too. I can't remember. So I mean, like, it's like the winning in that aspect kind of covered it up, but yeah, I think it's enough blame to go around everywhere. And with Dan talking about calling the plays, I don't think that he should start going into it with that mindset. Find an offensive coordinator that you trust to call the damn plays. Like, that should be what it is. The reason you started calling plays was not because you felt like starting calling plays. Like, oh, you know what? I want to try to start calling plays now. No, it's because your offensive coordinator was trash and y'all didn't have any other options. So you said, let me be the head coach and take over. Find somebody that you trust and have them do it. If you have to take it over again, now I got questions about your decision making when it comes to that. And honestly, I think that's something that we don't talk about a lot with head coaches and the decision makings that they make as far as their coordinators. Like, a lot of them get the carte blanche to go ahead and choose their players. And then sometimes the front office be like, nah, bruh, This is your offensive coordinator. Here you go. This is your defensive coordinator. Here you go. But I know that their franchise believes in Dan and they trust Dan. So I want to see him find another coordinator because obviously it's not easy. And that's what happens to these teams. And that's why they talk about this window is so small because at one minute, you're on top of the world. You got the best offensive coordinator, the best defensive coordinator, and then you don't finish it and you still lose them. That sucks. Like as an Eagles fan, we went through that. We lost the Super Bowl and still lost both of our coordinators. We won the Super Bowl last year and lost another coordinator. And we're going to lose another one this year because Kevin Petrillo got to go. Now, luckily, Vic Fangio, we love you, bro. We need you. And honestly, the special teams coordinator is cool. He don't do too much. You probably don't even know who he is. So I want to see him make a good hire if he's going to be the one that's making the hire. I don't think he should go into this saying like, I'm gonna hire somebody, but I'm gonna call it like, no, hire somebody to call the damn plays. Show me that you can pick somebody because we know you have the football acumen to do it. But I want to see it put in place because think about it. That's the same thing. And I'm sorry I keep harping back to my team, but it's the stuff that I know. Nick Sirianni went through the same thing. When he lost Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon, he hired people and they were like, yeah, nah, that's not it. Front office was like, Vic, come on down here, bro. Fix. Some coaches aren't good at picking. It is what it is. Some coaches are good at facilitating. You know, the orchestra, you just facilitate the orchestra. You don't teach them how to play. You just go like this. But I think he has the football acumen to be able to do it. So I want to see him do it. And I don't want to see him rest on the whole laurels of well, maybe, we lost Ben. Like, come on, bro. You out here biting kneecaps and stuff. Let's get to it.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part for coaches that aren't coordinators. Like the CEO type coaches, like firsthand because that's what Sirianni is.
Absolutely.
And those guys struggle because they have they rely on them dudes way more than somebody like Andy, Kyle, Ben, because those guys are just like, I just got to get a serviceable defense. And depending on where the coordinator is, and either I got to put in extra hours this year or I could chill. But like, I can control my side to a degree. But when you don't have the ability to do so, yeah, when stuff starts going left, you can't just hop in like, hey, I'm going to take over. I ain't never called plays before. Like, eeny, meeny, miny, like, what we here, like, we watch people make horrible hires all the time. Like we talked about, you brought up racing with Eberflus coming from the Bears. Like,
what was that?
Like he left the situation where the only positive thing technically was the defense, and they was like, yeah, brother, still give me that key card. And Dallas out here like, come on down. What are you doing? No, you don't. You should have been right up there when Kyle and them was sitting there quietly like, come back home, Bob Saleh. You should have interrupted that man in transit and Jerry emptied the bank because you needed it. And then we see those coordinators. There's been a couple coordinators this year. Like in the last couple of years, a lot of guys that people get hired and people are like, well, they so-and-so didn't give them a fair shake. They get to their next spot, do worse, and get let go quicker. Like, it is such a struggle finding quality coordinators. Like you said, it's kind of a catch-22. If they do too good of a job, somebody coming to get them. They're not staying
fast unless
if you can't
want to be a coordinator forever. Like Spangio at this point. I don't think Spangio ever going to work.
That's when you get lucky and blessed. Where Spangio's like, you know what? Hey, fat man, you got that. I'm cool right here. Let's go to the Hall of Fame together. Let's go, brother.
Somebody tell me where Eric Bieniemy is. Where's Eric Bieniemy? Anybody? Have you seen him?
Man,
I haven't seen him.
The Chiefs still looking for him too. But like, that's the thing. Like,
went to Washington. Bye.
I remember everybody getting mad a couple years ago. Oh, so they did Steve Wilkes wrong. They let him go. Y'all know what he got? He just got let go from the Jets and nobody said nothing. Because man, like, and again, it's not knocking on him. Just what'd you say?
How do you go an entire season without an interception? I can't. It's
But
never been done.
Yo, I saw that and I was like,
Never.
there's no way this is true.
yeah, no. It's that's when it gets like Guinness World Book type level trivia. Yeah, bro, you gotta go. I don't care if it's on your fault or not. That's nasty.
No,
Like you saw that and you weren't even thinking about football at that moment. Saw that and was like, oh, what is this?
and I mean the memes were hilarious. NFL CBS was out there like, did your team have an interception this year? They had all the teams in one bubble, and then the Giants out here say no.
So like technically, there's like at least 7 players in the league that have more interceptions than the Jets team did total. Like, let that stick in, man. But again, we
Jalen Carter
appreciate
had 3 interceptions.
see
He-
3 times as many as the whole team. 3 times as many.
he's not even in the secondary.
Neither are they, apparently. Neither were they.
In the secondary, bro, and he has 3 himself.
Nasty work, man. Like Ray said, I don't know how you even do that.
He brought
I
us.
don't even know how you do it, but shout out to them. We appreciate you guys as always, man. Y'all have a great week. We look forward to being back to you guys next week, same time. And again, happy new year to you all.